All right, what's going on? What to do? Just a little update on the tank. I have the Anthias and the cleaner wrasse out of quarantine, and I've added them to my main display tank. As you see, after a long battle and struggle, so I was running dual UV sterilizers on this tank for a while after whatever outbreak wiped out everything. If you've been following along, you know you're familiar with all this situation. So I bought a 25 watt UV sterilizer that I connected and ran on the sump, and then I had the small little 8 watt hang-on UV sterilizer that I put on the side of the tank. And I ran both of those for I think 2 weeks, along with using the Polyp Lab Medic. I was dosing the tank with that as well, as I never could catch the only surviving fish, which were the 3 green chromis and the purple tang. The purple tang looked to be in really rough shape at one point in time. Now it looks like it is in full recovery. It doesn't have white all over it, but it does look like it has, is it that HLLE or whatever? So on both sides, it kind of has the white line starting at the face and going back a little bit. Some of the fins have a little damage on it. I think whatever it had covering it, I think it was kind of rubbing on the rocks a good bit and kind of messed up its fins a little bit, but hopefully it'll be okay and they'll grow back. So yeah, I did a couple weeks quarantine on the Anthias, and if you followed along, I did a video. I initially did a dip or bath to start them off with, and then I put them in quarantine. And once in quarantine, I continued to treat them for 2 weeks as if they might have something. So I did the general cure for followed the directions, did the recommend time on that. And then I did, I'm trying to think of what the other stuff's even called. That's like I did the general cure to get rid of any worms or anything that they might have. And let's see, the other one is, I can't even think of it. It's by the same manufacturer of the bath that I did. And it's a 3-day treatment that is supposed to be for parasites and kind of like a general, like it's it does more than the general cure does. It said it would cover a broader spectrum of things. So, the Rally Pro, that's what it was. So I did that. So I've treated with a few medications that were not as harsh for Anthias. I've never been able to keep them in copper. Like every time I've tried to run a tank with copper, if I run the copper power I think the therapeutic dose is like 2.0. And, if I get 2.0 to 2.1, 2.2, right in that range, some of the fish that I've quarantined that way are fine, but I usually always end up losing the Anthias, so I didn't want to treat them with any copper. But I've got them transferred over to this tank. They've been in here 24 hours now. They're all swimming around, they're all eating, they all look happy. So I think everything is good. My only concern is I hope whatever wiped out everything in my tank, I'm hoping that it's gone and I'm not going to have to deal with it again. But time will tell on that one. Let's see, otherwise, all the corals are doing very well. They're all growing. The only thing is, the issue for me is Acropora, SPS corals, and my lack of experience, but only been dealing with them, what's it been now? I forgot when I started buying the first ones, less than 2 years ago. All of them that I get, at first, I had some die when I tried them in the water box. I have now where I can successfully keep them, and they're all, you can see they're all kind of growing over the rocks. They're all bigger, especially this one's really got some branches coming out. But the problem that I have is the majority of them, now not the green Millipora that I have in the back, but and the blue tort's fine, but these other ones, they came in kind of browned out already, I guess from the shipping and all. And I have just never been able to get them to color back up. Well, I have the lighting. I think I have all the parameters good. I do enough water changes that I'm hoping I'm getting all the trace elements back that I need. I think the only reason these aren't coloring up are the lack of nitrates and phosphates. So this past weekend, I started dosing some nitrates and phosphates. I got the Neophos and whatever the other one is, the Brightwell. So I started dosing it. Well, immediately, so I just started Friday, so this is Monday. So after a couple days, I don't know, and I don't think I can pick it up on camera, but I don't think I can get it, or I really don't think you can see it. But where the corals are growing over the rock now, there's like green rings around them. So that just showed up since Friday. So I'm kind of hopeful that maybe the dosing nitrates and phosphates will get me where I need to be. Now the downside to that is, and I'll show you on the side view, I'm having to scrub this glass every day. It gets like this brown, I guess it's some kind of brown algae. It's getting like a brown film on the glass daily, where that used to take at least a few days. I would clean my glass like twice a week. Now I have to clean it every single day, and this just since I started adding the nitrates and phosphates in, and I'm also getting more like a brown algae on the rocks. So I guess that's going to be the trade-off. What I did is Friday I tested my nitrates and phosphates. My nitrates were at 0.2 and phosphates undetectable. I used the Salifert test kits and the Hanna test kits. So what I did is I followed the directions on both the bottles for the nitrate and phosphate, and basically for the amount I dosed, and I didn't want to bump it up too fast, I put in, I did 2 capfuls, which is 5 mLs of the nitrate, and then I did a half a capful of the phosphate, and I did that Friday, and then Sunday I dosed the same amount again, and then I retested, and my phosphate is now 0.03, and my nitrate is, I think it was actually 1, like 1.0. There's a range of what forums say and people say with SPS is what they like. Some people say 0.03 on phosphates is good anywhere, so you show a little bit. And then people will tell me for nitrates you want about 5. But then I've also had other people say you want phosphates up to like 15. I mean, not phosphates, the nitrates up to 15, and phosphates are good from a various range, but anywhere from like 0.03 to 1, or 0.1, I'm sorry. So, that's kind of the ranges I've read about and been told. So I think for right now, what I'm gonna do is shoot for a nitrate of about 5, and then I'm gonna try to keep my phosphates in that range of 0.03 to to 0.1 and kind of see what happens there. And you know, I may let that ride and kind of test every other day and try to maintain that for about a month and see if I can tell any kind of difference. I'm not sure if that's a long enough time period to really notice a lot, but I'm gonna try that, and then if you know I need to bump them up a little more, I will. And if it works out, then I guess what I'll do is I'll use one of my dosing pumps and then just figure out what I need, calculate that, and actually just start dosing it to the tank on a schedule. That might be the way to go. But anyway, let me show you, I'll show you what I was talking about a while ago. I don't know how much this, but you can see on the back, so I haven't cleaned it again, but it's like a brown algae film. And that's just growing like everywhere in the tank now. So the dosing, the nitrates and phosphates have definitely increased that. But if I can get the corals to color up, it'll be worth it. And I guess that'll do it for this video, and I'll try to do another update video if I notice any kind of changes or anything worth talking about, or I'll let you know if I run across anything else. But again, thanks for watching, and let me know if you have any questions.